Welcome back to Animal Art Corner, where I bring you great stories about Scientology and possibly other cults. Now, this is a story that is an eye-opener. How do you perceive to know about bees and their characteristics? To live in a hive, or do they even live in a tree? Yeah, well, they could live in a tree. If there is, they live on Fountain Avenue. And of course, you know that they do have them. They would live in that tree off of L. Ron Hubbard Way, which is Fountain Avenue. And yes, one of those trees were once occupied by bees, but the trees is no longer there. Ashamed, isn't it? Every bee that was in that tree is now dead. Scientology ruined everything around them. And only bullies would do that. Scientology, as you recall, well, saying it again, money laundering, human trafficking cult. And this time, it looks like it looks like it took a turn for the worse. And this time, a bunch of bees are dead due to their bizarre activity. Also, today, these bees are now at risk of being extinct because of human carelessness, not only by Scientology, but other humans as well. And it's due to also the changes in the environment. And of course, the season keeps changing. So naturally, all insects would die and then come back. But will the bees come back? That's the question everybody asked. And it looks like Scientology is at it again. There are now 4,000 bees. 4,000 bees had declined here in the United States. And now 1,600 in California. That's how many bees there are left in California, according to an environmental agency. I don't remember what it is, what the name of the organization is. But now it declined even more since October 2024. Just 6 months Scientology, 6 months, well, not 6 months ago, 7 months ago, a bunch of bees practically killed. They bulldozed that tree and killed them. Some of those trees were hives inside of them. That's where the bees were at. It was also their home. As you know, bees are important to our food chain since they pollinate. Each and every hive should have a mother that would be the female bee. She would mate with all of those male bees in a hive. And lately, that hive would be missing a female. Isn't that a shocker? They would lay about 2,000 eggs in spring and summer. Now, here is there is no clip, so scratch that idea. You can also find them in garages when they also can sneak in. They usually stay there the entire winter season because you know how heated the house is, but a garage is probably not heated. They also can be found in attics, lofts, where they are rarely there, where they're not rarely disturbed. They would most likely be hidden. Now, besides trees, you can find a hive underground where they can dig and place their hives there. Of course, today you notice that Media 18, I think his name is Rick, found a ground lifted. It might be them, who knows, but he also noticed that the bees managed to find another tree and now they're in there, which is a relief. Now, besides trees, you can find a hive you can find them underground. Trees would carry wax glade there also for ages, for nectar and pollen and get that one. Excuse my ADHD. Everyone can find them in abandoned buildings, inside of offices, and empty houses. They can also be found in roofs, decks, patios, and storage sheds. But thankfully, there were bees that survived that day. The bees that made it out is alive and managed to find another tree and started to rebuild their hive. Those guys are really fast. One of the protesters, which is Media 18, found them. That was one of them on Fountain Avenue. For more hybrid bees by a tree. He was relieved that he found more of them. Of course, Audit LA, the true warrior in the fight, got really upset that that they weren't there. Scientology is a big, giant wrecking ball that destroys everyone and everything around them. They even managed to take out part of our resource that would give us our food supplies. Yeah, that's right. Bees also give us half our food supplies. And they took them out. Now, do we know directly that was them? I don't think so. But those are one of the things they do, and they have a history of doing that. Even though we perceive to know about bees and their characteristics, do they live in hives? Or do they live in trees? They live in both. They can be almost anywhere, not just hives. Of course, there's a hive farm, but PETA and rest of the vegetarians and vegans wouldn't have honey. They would most likely use maple syrup. They think having them is probably inhumane. We also know today that bees are now at risk of being extinct because of human carelessness. And all in all, it looks like Scientology is added to them as well as themselves on the list. They can put themselves on the list as well, even though they think, oh, we had nothing to do with it. We didn't take out any tree. That's what they're going to say. Ultimately, some of those trees would carry a hive inside of them. Then finally, thankfully, they were bees that made it out alive and managed to find another tree and start to rebuild their community. Finally, one of the protesters, which is Media 18, breathed a sigh of relief when he found them. More bees rebuilt their hives. That's right. It's a great relief that they did. And that's the story I give you about Scientology and their environmental hazard, including towards animals and the honeybees. Now, it's just not Scientology that did it. It's other organizations and other people that did it. But they just recently added themselves to the list months ago. Now, what do you think out there? Do you think they deliberately did it? Or you think, oh, anyone can make that kind of mistake, but not everybody is Scientology. And David Miscavige and Osa wouldn't even care. They'll just turn around and make like it never happened. Or turn around and lie about it. All right, everyone. All week or a couple of days, I've been bringing you clips of squirrels that I would introduce to my channel while doing these fabulous stories. Now, select the 5 that you really like, and I'll give you the results on Monday when I reveal what clip it is. Okay, see you again. Little later, guess what? I am going to bring you this yesterday's story about the town council meeting in Clearwater. It was awesome. Every citizen in that state was there roasting Scientology's ass off. Oh, excuse me. I really want good content so I can stay on the air. Well, see you in an hour or two.